Hello, and welcome to the Heal Yourself podcast with me, Sarah Dawkins. I'm a holistic coach, and previously I was a registered nurse for 20 years. And this podcast is here to help you to understand how your body can heal itself and how it heals more efficiently when we support it. And my guest today is Samantha Harnish from Balanced Friends. So Sam is an integrative health practitioner and co-owner of Balanced Friends with her best friend, Alyssa. They met in dental hygiene school in 2010 and frustrated by the flaws in the American health system, they transitioned to holistic health. Today, their practice offers us functional medicine, detox, and gut health programs designed to disrupt the broken healthcare system and to guide clients towards a more vibrant and balanced life. So welcome, Sam.
Thank you, Sarah. What a nice introduction. And thank you for having us here. You're amazing. The work you're doing is amazing. I think it's just so important that we're spreading the message of healing yourself. I think it's like more people need to hear this and that it is possible. And now I feel like with things being virtual and technology, we all have the tools to really change our life at a root cause level. It's absolutely
Yes.
amazing.
And that is the key, isn't it? Healing from the root cause.
Yes.
Because, when we take a pill, we're just suppressing the symptoms. We're not dealing with what caused the symptoms.
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned, kind of my history as being a dental hygienist. And that's, where I met my best friend. And it was really, we picked that career because we wanted to help people. And we've always been passionate about health. But then once we graduated from dental hygiene school, we worked at the exact same place. And that's really where I guess our eyes were opened in the fact that, like, oh my gosh, healthcare is not at all what we thought it was. Patients would come in with a toothache and dentists would write a script for an antibiotic or for pain. And then I guess the other part, at least here in the United States, insurance was just really dictating everything as far as so many patients would be like, well, my insurance doesn't cover that, so I'm not going to do it. And then we're like, no, your insurance should not have a say. They have no idea what's truly going on with you. And so that really just put a bad taste in our mouth. And, we love dentists. They're out there doing great work. We worked with a lot of really good dentists, but they're just functioning in a space where I feel like their hands are tied behind their back. And we just knew that, we had to break, free from all that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm pleased you did, because you went into the holistic space. So can you share with our listeners why you went into the holistic space, what you healed from and how you healed?
Yes, absolutely. So it's completely happened by accident. And that's just to be transparent. I feel like oftentimes a lot of this does. But I ended up relocating to Germany for about a year and a half. And that's really where Alyssa and I kind of started our natural health journey. We started our Instagram page on a train ride to Paris. She came to visit me. We hopped on a train to go visit Paris. We had a few mimosas and then we're like, oh, let's start a healthy Instagram page because this is going to really help us to keep our friendship close while we're, in this distance, friendship, if you will. Because again, we were attached at the hip since hygiene school. We were not used to not talking every single day or seeing each other, several times a week. So we're like, okay, let's start this healthy Instagram page. And then it really evolved from there. It seems like at that exact same time, we both had some just crazy symptoms appear. And I think a big part of that was we both spent 10 plus years on hormonal birth control. And it just wrecked our bodies. We experienced a lot of hormonal imbalances with skin issues, painful periods, all those kinds of things, acne. And then I feel like from there, it's really, when you start experiencing all those horrible symptoms, you're like, okay, I got to figure this out. And then I do think living abroad in Europe really opened my eyes because you guys just do things differently there. The food is cleaner, the environment is better. There are just certain things in place to just help, again, the whole environment be less toxic. And I actually felt my best there, even though I was eating treats all the time, drinking a lot because we were enjoying the beer and the wine. But we still like felt our best there, aside from when I discovered I had toxic mold in my system. So I actually believe I picked it up from the wet sauna, a wet sauna at our gym in Germany, because mold really likes to hide in these like damp, wet areas. So wet sauna, if the basement's leaking or your bathroom is a common place. Aside from that, actually can be hiding in really crazy places like your coffee machine if you're not cleaning it regularly. Even your coffee beans can be littered with mold. Wine can have mold hidden in it. Certain grains can have mold. So we can really get exposed to it in a lot of places. And
can I jump in there and ask what made you think that it was mold toxicity, and what was the test for that?
I started to get like these really, really weird things. So super low mood, low energy. I almost felt just like depressed in a weird way. I had a really bizarre skin rash up here, right here above my lip. It was just like red. It wasn't like eczema. It just like appeared. It was very weird. I had a ton of acne just purging from my skin, and a lot of like allergy symptoms. So, I would go to these doctors and they would just tell me, oh, you just have chronic allergies. Okay, well, you shouldn't have like a post-nasal drip and sinus issues all year round. Like, this is not just seasonal allergies. I knew there was something else going on. And again, that's just like what propelled us to the journey of becoming integrative health practitioners. So once we gained that education, it was really just because we wanted to help ourselves and heal ourselves. And we wanted to do it at the root cause level. We had already been in dental hygiene. We knew that the Band-Aid approach was not ever going to be one that we were interested in. And so we're like, okay, let's learn how to do something new. So the program that we took was online. So again, her and I could do it together at the same time, no matter where we lived. So we love that. So we gained that knowledge. And through that, we learned about at-home functional medicine lab testing. So I went through some lab testing. The lab test for mold is as easy as you pee in a cup. It's a urine sample. You freeze it, you ship it back, and then you get the results. And so I discovered, my mold was like off the charts, like so high. And I was like, okay, I gotta get this figured out. So then the next step was moving towards functional medicine, mold detoxification. Again, I could do this all from home with a detox kit. It is created by a leading functional medicine doctor. Again, shipped right to my door. And I'm like, I'm just going to try this. Like, I don't want to feel like this. I'm just going to try this. Tried it. Felt so much better. Like, it's 8 weeks. I felt a difference just within the first couple of weeks. And then I took a follow-up lab test and my numbers were back within normal range. So I was like, okay, this obviously works. This is huge. And I need to like tell the world about it. And then from there, once you like, again, heal yourself, you can't help but just want to like scream it from the rooftop. You're like, oh my gosh, this works. Everybody has to know this is a big deal. And this is something that's missed in the Band-Aid approach. Like, they're not going to be screening you for toxic mold, for gut issues, none of that. So then, yes, I overcome that. And then I was feeling good, feeling great. Then I had my kids. I have 2 babies now, both under the age of 3. Yeah, they're wonderful, but holy cow, you're busy.
Yeah.
So then I had my babies. We waited forever to buy a house because the market where I live was insane. Finally bought a house, then had a massive leak in our master bathroom. And I was like, oh no. When we got to tearing it apart, mold everywhere. And I knew instantly, I was like, this isn't going to be good for me. This is not good. And sure enough, my symptoms have returned. I lab tested again. My numbers were high. So I'm actually in the 2nd week of detoxing it again right now as we speak. but it's worth it because I know that it works. And
Yes, yeah. And what does that detoxification look like? Is it food? Is it supplements? Is it a mixture of both?
oh, that's a great question. It is a mixture of both, but mostly going to be supplementation, a mix of like herbs and that sort of thing. And you will take capsules in the morning. And then you also will take capsules in the like with dinner, and then again right before bed. The one right before bed is a binder where, like, when you're killing off this mold, it's going to be getting released. So then you want to make sure you're taking something to bind that up and then remove it. So really, the capsules throughout the day are more designed for killing off these mold spores, breaking down the cell walls, and really pushing your body through that detoxification process at a root cause, cellular level. And I do want to mention, we're all different. That's the other thing about root cause, approach is you can recognize everybody's body is different and your journey will be different. So one thing that I'm up against, in my own body is I have the MTHFR gene mutation, which, are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I have it too.
Oh, it's so common. It is so common now.
Yeah.
And so that really plays a role in detoxification. So like my husband and I have been exposed to the same mold stuff every time. He never got symptoms. His lab test never came back with high mold. But because of my MTHFR and my poor detoxification, I seem to be more susceptible, at that because of course, everybody's body has natural detox mechanisms already, but my body just needs a little extra help, and that's okay. That's why we have the lab tests to tell us, like, okay, here's what you need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know sweating is really good to help with detoxification, whether that's exercising, sweating, or infrared sauna sweating, or do you encompass any of that?
Yes, I personally do. And we do recommend it to our private wellness clients as well. And I think the best form of sweating is whatever you enjoy and whatever you have access to. For me, we just installed a sauna downstairs. And so I use that almost every night, especially while I know I'm detoxing and through the program, because I want to push out as much of it as I can, whether it's through sweat, through, bowel movements, all those things. So really important to continue to push that out.
Absolutely, yes. And could you just remind us again what your symptoms were? I remember you had the rash and you felt down and low. Are there any other symptoms, either what you've had or that other people have, that will signify potentially before they take a test that there's a mold toxicity?
Yeah, so I definitely had these weird skin rashes. I would say the biggest thing for me was symptoms coming up that mimicked allergies. So, itchy eyes, the, clearing my throat, the constant just mucus and drainage, postnasal drip, those sort of things. Some people get achy joints. I didn't get that as much, but I did have, again, low mood, low energy. Because, Sarah, I know you know this, is when your body has this burden, this toxic burden, it's your cells are working to combat that. And there's not a lot of energy freed up for other things and other healing. And I also wanted to tell you, during my time in Germany, it was probably one of the best times of my life. I was traveling all over, experiencing all of Europe. It was beautiful and wonderful, just time with my husband, just kind of like, that last hurrah before we knew we were going to dedicate our life to raising our babies. But during that time, that was I would say, a point in my life where I've spent a lot of time in isolation. And during that time, things will surface from your childhood. Those traumas, they sneak up on you. I was like, I already thought I put that to bed. But that, looking back on it now, I'm like, okay, I had to go through that point in my healing journey to really get to where I am today, because, it's never just one thing that makes you sick, and it's not going to be one thing that makes you better. It takes a team of, I would
Holistic
say,
approach.
yes, a holistic approach, exactly, to get the
Abs-
desired results, that you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. And could you share with the listeners one tip that they could do today to help themselves on their own healing journey?
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to. You were kind of talking about the symptoms, side of things. We actually have a free um, mold quiz that you could take on our website. It's just like a fun little thing you can do to, check the boxes, see kind of where you're at. It's free. It's just easy. It's free, and we highly recommend it because you can just take that, see where you're at, and then you can always evolve from there. Aside from that, I think it's really important to invest in a trusted, good detoxification program. We do offer a mold detox boot camp where we walk, a group of people step by step through the process, through the journey. We have everything laid out for you. Now, we don't ship our detox kits everywhere, but we do ship to a lot of countries. And we have that on our website as well. And then, of course, anybody who feels like they need this type of service, we'd like to give your listeners a 20% discount as well. So
Wonderful. And I can share that in the text below.
perfect. It's just,
And
yeah, I just want people to have that avenue of like, okay, I'm experiencing this. What can I
yeah,
do? And I want it to be convenient for everybody. That's our biggest mission at Balance Friends. We have to have it, more affordable, convenient for sure, and then more accessible. So that's why we're, virtual. We want, everything that we do is from the comfort of your own home. Like, I really feel like this is the future of health. Like, you can transform your life and your body from the comfort of your own home. And it's amazing.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. There's so much that we can do for ourselves by ourselves.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned your website. Would you like to share it with the listeners?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's www.balancefriends.com. So pretty straightforward and easy. We also just, we're pretty active on our Instagram page, which is, at Balance Friends. And then we also just launched our YouTube channel, which I think will be really
Wow.
great because you can talk longer, you can actually get more information out there without, the time restraints. And I just feel like it's also more personal because you get to see us and hear us. And I really love that. So that's balanced_friends. And then we hope to have our podcast up and running here in the next 2 weeks. That's going to be called Toxic Conversation. So it should be really fun.
Oh, that sounds amazing because there's so many toxins in our life today, isn't there?
Yes. And it's really like our goal is I don't want we just don't want people to live in fear of these toxins anymore. We want to be educated about them, and then we want to learn to support our body in living with them. They're not going anywhere. The world's going to be toxic
Yeah,
in our food, in our, environment, in all the things. But it's like, okay, we can't just, we got to have that balance. We can't just be so scared all the time that we're not going to do the things we love anymore. Instead, let's find the balance and then let's support our body along the way.
wonderful. Thank you for sharing all that fabulous information and your website. And any listener that's helping, there is a discount code underneath the video here to get discount from Balanced Friends Detox Program. So thank you, Samantha.
Thank you, Sarah. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.